what inspires me is not only science, even the outside side. I would like to say, I don't know whether you read this book, you must read. Accidentally, it is here. The book on Adi Sankaracharya. If you have not read, every Indian should read this. You know that Adi Sankaracharya, I think he was the greatest Indian. I'm not one of these religious, fanatics or anything. Imagine he was only 10 years old. He tells his mother, I want to become a sannyasi saint. So to do that, I have to learn philosophy and everything at the highest level. There's no one to teach us in South India. There is one in Madhya Pradesh who is the greatest teacher, Govindapada. I have to go to him. He goes by walk from Kerala all the way to Jabalpur. And there in a cave he sits and learns for several years. Of course, he wrote the famous book. And twice he goes from all the way to Kerala to Badrinath, Kedarnath, Nepal, Kashmir, all by foot. There's no train, no bus, no plane. And I'll never forget the second time he did that, he developed consumption, was vomiting blood. And the Maharaja Kashi had reached. Maharaja Kashi, Benares. He says, Guruji, don't do that. Take my horses, take my chariots, anything you want. Don't walk like this. He said, no. See, my feet are given by God only to remind you that you're on earth. If you don't use it, then you don't know that you're on earth. Sort of. He was a very great man. And he was spontaneous. All the books he wrote, he just dictated. He just sat and write like me. No. It came out. In fact, then in Benares, there people say, Guruji, you are saying about Tattvamasi, you are saying thou art God, all kinds of things. For a common man, what is the way of living? Give something to the common man in philosophy. He says, that's true. Let me compose something. He sat on the bank of Ganges, said, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. He just sang it. He was like that. They are also very inspiring. To me, Sankaracharya was the most inspiring Indian ever. Of course, Gautam Buddha, him, and then Gandhiji. Three great Indians. It's to me amazing when I read the story, the kind of things he did. I tell you one story. One of his first students who becomes the chief of the Sringeri Met, his first pupil became Sringeri. He writes a book on philosophy of Sankaracharya. And after he keeps that book somewhere, next day he sees that manuscript is missing. It's obviously some other student was jealous. That's what they say. He taken away and burnt it. And he runs crying to Sankaracharya. I had written about you everything and that is gone. He said, don't worry, I know what you wrote. You sit down, he says. He dictates the book. Shankara, this is the genius of India. This genius of India, Indians don't know. They're mucking around our politics, our mess, our politicians, our election. Everything gets at a low level. Nobody thinks at the highest level of thinking Indians have been used to involve themselves in at one time. Ordinary people, like Sankaracharya, became extraordinary in India. And this inspires me. That is why I'm in India.